Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello everyone, welcome to Nick from Top Notch Sports. Today we're going over the 2023 Tennessee Titans salary review and off-season moves for 2023. Mike Vrabel, one of the best coaches in the National Football League, brought this Tennessee Titans team to 7-10, placing second in the AFC South, falling shy of winning the division to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who finished the season 9-8. Look, Mike Vrabel had a team that wasn't very good this season, lost Ryan Tannehill due to an injury, lost A.J. Brown due to a trade last offseason. The GM was fired now for the Tennessee Titans, and now he still was able to get this team to compete in the AFC South that was actually somewhat dreadful this year, besides the up-and-coming Jacksonville Jaguars. When you look at Indy, they collapsed this year with their coaching changes, firing Frank Reich and bringing in Jeff Saturday. You look at now the Texans, they fired Lovie Smith and have nothing to go for. Ladies and gentlemen, what goes on from now? Do the Tennessee Titans bounce back in 2023? Hopefully, you guys will enjoy this video of our 2023 mock offseason, our salary review video. Now, again, the Titans do not have a lot of money, but you guys do have a special in this video. We did two different scenarios for the Tennessee Titans, so let us know what you think in the comment section below. So here we go. Let's get ready to do this. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. This team went 7-10. Once we're done, you guys let me know. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the current situation. They expected starter screen. Now, these are the guys that are currently under contract for the Tennessee Titans. Right now, you guys have negative $16.5 million to spend. That is not good to hear. The guys in green are guys that you cut, you save money. Guys in red, if you cut them, you lose money. So, again, you might want to try to cut some of the guys in green. But, again, being negative $16.5 million, if you cut Bud Dupree and Zach Cunningham, you're only at positive $2 million, maybe only $1.5 million. So is it really worth it to cut two guys that might be starting to get back to positive and still not be able to make any signings? But there are a lot of guys under big contracts between Dupree, Cunningham, Autry, Taylor Lewan, Robert Woods, Ryan Tannehill, and Derrick Henry. This team definitely could get back into the positives, but again, it wouldn't be without cutting a lot of their team and a lot of big starting players for this team. So let me know who you think you'll cut. On the next slide, we're going to show you the notable losses list. Now, the notable losses are guys that currently need contract extensions or need to be signed in free agency unless you let them walk. So let's see what we got here. Here are the guys, notable losses. So the first guy, things first, again, you go to the percent of snaps played. The percent of snaps played is calculated by looking at if they were active for that game, how many percent of snaps did they play, if that makes sense. So again, for the games that Nate Davis was active, he played for 96% of the snaps. So let's do this real fast. First things first, Nate Davis, offensive guard, 3 years, $22.2 million. He played 96% of the snaps. Next guy, Austin Hooper, tight end, 2 years, $13.4 million. Played 51% of the snaps. Linebacker, David Long, 2 year, $9.8 million. Played 89% of the snaps. And last but not least, defensive end, DeMarcus Walker, 1 year, $3.2 million. Played 40% of the snaps. Now, typically, a good rule of thumb here is this. If they played a high percentage of the snaps, typically the team will look to re-sign them. If they got cap space, unfortunately, the Tennessee Titans do not have cap space right now unless they make cuts. So the next slide, we're going to show you what we think is going to happen. Here we go. Potential targets. Now, this scenario, this prediction is what we think is going to happen. This is what we're going to roll with this series. Well, after we go through this scenario, we're going to show you the other scenario, which we think is possible. So here we go. They got negative $16.5 million in cap space. Their estimated cuts? None. It's not worth cutting 10 guys, to free this up if you want to roll the dice on trying to win now with this organization, with this team that you currently have. If you have negative $6.5 million, how many signings can you make? 0, unless you franchise tag a guy. But none of those guys listed here are franchise tag worthy. And if you have negative money, you can't sign anybody in free agency. Plain and simple. So with that being stated, all you can do here is what we think is going to happen is what you guys are going to do in the draft. We get you guys drafting in the first round offensive tackle, Paris Johnson. In the second round, drafting Zay Flowers at wide receiver. And in the third round, drafting Jacqueline Roy at defensive tackle. That fills in 3 of your 5 needs. We feel like you still need to bring in a tight end, considering you can't bring back Austin Hooper, and still bring in an offensive guard, considering you don't have a replacement right now for Nate Davis. With that being stated, we're filling in 3 of the needs at wide receiver, offensive tackle, and defensive tackle, and hopefully in the 4th and 5th round, 6th and 7th round, maybe you can find a depth piece at tight end or something at offensive guard. So with that being stated, this is what your team would look like after that mock offseason that we have. You would slide in Zay Flowers here. You would slide in Paris Johnson at the right tackle and Jacqueline Roy at the defensive tackle position. The guys in yellow are placeholders. Jordan Roos and Kevin Rader, tight end at right guard. You guys know more than I do, but I'm pretty sure that these are guys that you're going to want to replace as quickly as you can. With that being stated, you probably look to draft a tight end or draft the offensive lineman in this draft to try to replace those guys unless they win the job. If they win the job, God bless them. But again, looking at this lineup, not bad. You can definitely compete with this team. The only pieces you're really losing, and again, you go back to the noble losses, you're losing Nate Davis, so you need a replacement at right guard, and you're losing Austin Hooper. David Long, he was pretty dang good for you guys this year. DeMarcus Walker, not bad either, but really David Long played pretty dang good. You're going to be losing him. But besides that, the only position you're really losing, right guard and tight end. And, to me, this team can still compete. If you got Tannehill healthy, Henry's healthy, you add another receiver, you got Woods and Burks with Flowers, you get a tight end late, this team can compete. 7 wins, 10 losses this year with this. We'll see what happens. I'll let you know at the end of the video what I think their final prediction for this scenario is. Now, we're going to go into what another scenario is. Rebuild mode. Rebuild mode. What? Rebuild. It's possible, ladies and gentlemen. You cut Tannehill, trade Tannehill, you save $18 million. You cut Lewan, trade Lewan, save 14.8. Cut Woods, save 12. Cut Dupree, save 9.3. Cut Zach Cunningham, save 9.2. From negative 16.5, you can go to positive 46.8 and be a player in free agency. Now you're cutting many good players, but this could be a start of a rebuild. Sign a lot of young guys, not necessarily always young, but signing guys that can be here for a few years and signing guys that you can get for extremely cheap for a year or two. Let's see what we can do. First things first, we can sign defensive tackle Javon Hargrave, who had over 10 sacks this season. 3 years, $60.4 million, $20.1 million in cap hit. That's almost half the money that you have. If you want to go this big, maybe you go this big. Samson Mboinkum, 3 years, $23.2 million, $7.7 million cap hit. Jarvis Landry, 1 year, $3 million cap hit. Daniel Brunskill, 2 years, $6 million. $3 million cap hit. Jermaine Illuminor, 3 years, $16.8 million, $5.6 million cap hit. And last but not least, Alex Singleton, 1 year, $3 million, $3 million cap hit, which comes out to being a $42.4 million in total cost, which means out of that, you're rolling over $4.4 million until next year. So that now, whatever the cap space is, you add $4.4 million to next year's salary cap, which means that you have more money to use next year than what you would have in, normal teams would have. Team needs, you need a wide receiver, tight end, offensive guard, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, edge, linebacker. Well, let's see what we got you doing. First things first, we got you going out here signing Jarvis Landry at the wide receiver position. We got you signing Daniel Brunskill at the offensive guard position. We got you signing Jermaine Illuminor at the offensive tackle position. We got you signing Javon Hargrave at the defensive tackle position. And we got you signing linebacker Alex Singleton. Then in the draft, we got you doing the same thing that we had you doing before. We got you still drafting Paris Johnson in the first round, drafting Zay Flowers in the second round, and drafting Javon Roy in the third round. With that being stated, let's look at our team now. Here are the Tennessee Titans with these moves. Let me know what one you like better. The rebuild mode. Now, again, you got Malik Willis. I don't know if Mike Vrabel's really sold on Malik Willis, or you guys sold on Malik Willis. He looked okay, not great, if anything, below average for sure. But can his upside, will they finally bet on his upside here? You look at the guys in yellow. Yellow are the placeholders. Green, the lime green, are the guys that you're signing. You're signing Jermaine Illuminor to protect Malik Willis's blind side. You're signing Daniel Brunskill to plug in at right guard. You're signing Jarvis Landry to play in the slot, or you can play him in the outside, either or. You're signing Javon Hargrave to hopefully get you 10 sacks this season with Danico Autry and Jeffrey Simmons and Harold Landry coming off the edge. You're signing Alex Singleton, a really good tackler, a guy that averaged over 100 tackles a season ever since he came to the NFL. And last season had 150 plus tackles. You got Christian Fulton, Caleb Farley, Kevin Byard, and Monty Hooker, a pretty dang good and young secondary with a really good defensive line here. And then you got Malik Willis in this offense, maybe some more RPOs, read options, really could open up the offense. And you got decent receivers here. Plus, you got $4.4 million in cap space. I don't think you guys do this personally, but this is a real nice way to rebuild. This would be a nice reset for this Titans team. I really do think this would be good. This team right here, I don't know how many games they would win. Probably right around 7, 8 games, probably again. But it's younger. You got some good guys. You're bringing in some pieces. And again, you get Malik Willis experience so that in his third year, which would be 2024 season, you guys could maybe make a playoff push in the AFC South. I mean, again, winning 8 games, 7, 8 games, 8 games really could possibly contend in this division. I mean, really, I think Lawrence is going to take a step forward, but it's possible. But now let's go back to what I'm truly predicting. I'm really predicting something to look more like this. Same as that team, some draft capital, plug and play and see what you got. With this team here, Mike Vrabel, as long as if this team stays healthy, which is always tough because Tannehill was a lot of injury problems back in Miami in his early, part of his career. But he's been good since he came to Tennessee. If this team stays the same and does this, and probably adds an offensive lineman at some point in the draft, and maybe adds a tight end that they like, I think this team once again is contending in the AFC South. I think it's going to be a very tight division again. I think the Colts just didn't have great quarterback play. I think they're a quarterback away from really contending. Jaguars, I feel like, are going to probably take another step forward. But again, Tennessee and Indianapolis are not jokes. And depending on what happens with Houston, they may be able to steal a game or two. So you look at this. You look at the Colts. You look at the Titans. You look at the Jaguars. I feel like it's going to be a 3-way race to whoever wins this division. And I feel like the Titans will be right in the swing of things. I'm predicting with this lineup being just the way it is shown right here, adding a right tackle, bringing in a wide receiver, bringing in a defensive tackle, I feel like this team could win 8 to 9 games next season as long as Tannehill doesn't get hurt. And you can be talking 10. 10 would be really high. But I think 8 to 9 easily, really more towards the 9 side. So if I had to do an exact prediction, I think they go 9-8 this next season, battling it out for the AFC South, possibly punching themselves into the playoffs, but not necessarily going anywhere until they make a few more upgrades. Let me know what you guys think, the Tennessee Titans fans think. Let me know where I went wrong, where I went right. Let me know what you think. Would you want to rebuild and do the rebuild slide, or would you want to do something more like this? Again, you don't have a lot of money to work with. Let me know what you think. We'll see you guys soon. Peace. We are Built Better.